Ultra Instinct Goku. Ultra UI Sign Goku received his platinum equipment in part 1 of Dragon Ball Legends Festival 2025, and I don't think people are comprehending how much of a massive mistake this was. Not only does this mean the returning of auto dodging and evading, but this equipment gave him way more than he actually needed. This character does way too much damage, he is very tanky, and on top of that, he still has his dodging and evading as well as his anti-switching mechanic, which forces you to sit there and cry just as he melts your life bar. This character is not healthy for the game. Legends saw its player base being bored and basically non-existent for the last few months, and they said, hey, let's bring back this character with some of the worst and most toxic mechanics and hated mechanics in the history of the game. Because then, at least of being bored, they're gonna make their players angry and outraged. That's their mentality. A negative reaction to them is better than no reaction. Instead of doing something, actually healthy and something that the players are going to enjoy, something that is not toxic, something that you can do to make players commend you, you do this. The auto counter and auto evade mechanic is one of the worst ideas ever implemented in Dragon Ball Legends history. The very nature of UI Goku players is to just stand there menacingly and do nothing. There's nothing fun and interactive about that, and couple that with him being an ultra, and he's a little extra broken for that rarity. And his platinum equipment gave him some insane damage and statistics and added a little extra to his kit, and I can confidently say that this character is now number 1 in the game. He's better than the new LF Gogeta, and he's better than the new LF Janemba, and quite easily I would add. His damage is just absolutely ridiculous, and his defense should not be that high as well. The free-to-play Ultranamic Goku I thought was an amazing buff, because even though he doesn't have blast armor and all these other fancy techniques and mechanics, Legends made him excel at doing really good damage to compensate for all that, and I thought that added a nice balance to him. I thought he was a well-balanced unit, whereas with Ultra UI Goku, not only does he have the crazy damage, but he has defensive capabilities as well as other annoying mechanics that made him so toxic to fight when he first released. They basically took this guy who came out 2 years ago and gave him a little kick straight to the top of Dragon Ball Legends. During the first day, his equipment dropped when I was testing him out and fighting against other UI players. At some point, I just thought to myself, I don't want to play this. I don't want to deal with this. This is annoying. This is not fun. And there's still the other blue UI Goku from 7th anniversary who is still kind of usable right now. He can also be used with this guy to make things even more insufferable and annoying. And there are ways to deal with this character, don't get me wrong. We have some strong reds in the game, some characters who can combat all the locking in ultimates and all that, but that doesn't change the fact that this is just a very unnecessary buff and they gave him too much. Because even without, the locking in, the dodging and all that, he's still gonna do some crazy damage. And he has so much added to his kit, so much damage and defense. I just don't know why they decided to do so much with this guy when, he basically overshadows the part 1 LFs basically. And Ultra Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta might be the best counter to him currently, because not only is he red, but he also ignores the dodging and evading. He has that built into his kit, but what Legends did was so cowardly that they didn't even run back his banner, which surprised me because Legends is the type of game to present you with an unnecessary problem and then they sell you the solution. They didn't do that for this UI Goku equipment drop. They didn't run back Vegeta's banner on the day that it dropped. And, you know, I thought my mentality was that they're gonna drop this UI Goku, they're gonna make him crazy, but then, you know, they're gonna also run back Vegeta's banner so that, you know, they can take more money from us. They can make us spend all our crystals before part 2. But they didn't actually bring back Vegeta, which surprised me. And that tells me that they want this UI Goku to run the game for a bit, so that we are basically on our hands and knees begging for the solution. And, you know, I don't even know how many people are gonna care by the time Vegeta's banner returns, because it is gonna return later. But I don't know how many people are even gonna be interested at that point. You know, for all we know, the players might just all drop the game and, you know, go play something else. And I like UI Goku. I think that Ultra Instinct is a cool form, and I actually don't hate him in Legends for the most part. It's just that they can sometimes go overboard, and, you know, if they let these types of mechanics run the game for too long, then it just becomes a very unfun experience. Like, I think they could have made this guy good without making him so incredibly insane, but they just juiced him up. You know, they juiced him up real good. And, you know, the auto dodging counter mechanic, whatever you want to call it, is something that we've seen in characters, so many characters over the years, and I can never defend this mechanic. It's something I've never been a fan of, and I'm not interested in engaging with this type of gameplay. This gameplay promotes passive play. It promotes you not actually being good at the game. It's you letting the game play itself for you instead of you actively engaging with the game. I don't enjoy this type of gameplay. The decisions that these devs have been making lately is just very demoralizing. And this is just one of the many problems that I have with the game currently. Most of the time I can't really bring myself to voice and articulate my problems with the game because I don't really care that much. I don't really have the energy to put these thoughts into words and to, you know, even write it down even, because, you know, sometimes I can find myself trying to record something and then halfway through I'm just like, you know what, I don't really care this much, and, you know, I'd rather do something that I actually feel positively about. But this is just something that is very strong to me that I just want to put out there. I don't like this. I think that UI Goku getting such a massive buff to this degree was a massive mistake. Maybe they should have given the equipment to another Ultra character, but this is something that I'm really not a fan of. And, you know, if you are a fan, who am I to stand in the way? But I'm just putting my thoughts out there. I don't like the passive style of gameplay. I don't like the auto counter, auto dodging mechanic. It's one of the things that really pushed me away from Legends in 2024, and, you know, they're trying to bring it back in 2025. I do not like it. Anyways, let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I'll see you soon. Give us a big thumbs up to support what we do. Take care.